Cool. Okay, well, today we're going to get right to it. This is the start of the shorter class week, so we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to try and get us right to work and let us really focus on being efficient with it so that you can enjoy the sunshine, and also just really compress your practice to be one in which when you need to have a shorter practice, it can work for you even if it's shorter, okay? I want to make a different request today. You guys don't have to do it, but I'm just going to request it if you want, to keep your video on while you practice so that we can see each other. I was kind of noticing when I've taken some classes that it's cool to like see other people doing the same thing, and no one's judging what you're doing, but I love to see you practice. And so if you're brave enough to do it, turn your camera on. You can still keep your audio off unless you have a question, but yeah, just let's practice together and see each other and take in the community that we have here, because I'm really grateful to have all of you. So find a comfortable position for your practice today. You will need something to stand on or a block, but you can certainly use books for that, a pillow, or if you don't have it, it's totally fine, okay? So find that comfortable place to sit and allow yourself to attune to your body and start breathing. So our practice today is going to focus on taking things that are known and familiar and kind of changing them up and finding a sense of maybe familiarity in the newness of it, right? So we're going to take a shape like tree pose that we've done. It's familiar. It's something that we know, and we're going to do it differently. And I want you to kind of feel what it's like to create new places within your yoga practice of stability and support, because right now energetically that's what we're being asked to do, is the same things that we counted on aren't available for us. So we have to create new practices, new routines, right? New things that help us ground, settle, strengthen. So I want you to feel that strength today, and I want you to explore maybe not letting it feel familiar, right? And that we can still cultivate it. So I want you to take 5 deep breaths, arriving on your mat, arriving in your body, arriving into this amazing community, into new ways that we're finding community, new ways that we're finding a practice, new ways that we can inhabit our bodies today. Okay, one more breath. And then when you're ready, we're gonna come standing at the top of your mat. I'm gonna face you. And if you would like, actually not for the first one, we're gonna find tree pose. So you're gonna stand on the right leg. You can turn your left toes out and you can keep your left foot at your ankle. Or if you wanna take this foot a little higher up your leg, go ahead. Firm that standing leg hip in so that you feel, again, that synergy of inner thigh and outer hip. And as you press that foot into your thigh, let that thigh press back. Hands can go to heart, hands can go to hips. I love that I can see you guys. You're so awesome. Take 5 breaths here. Find your core so you feel a little lift out of the pelvis. Stretch out your feet from big toe to outer heel, from inner heel to outer foot. One more breath. And let that go. Take a moment to feel and breathe. So that's familiar. We know tree pose. We've been in that shape before. We're going to feel it again, opposite side. So again, you could stay low. You could come up a little higher. My feet are slipping down my pants. Again, firming in that standing hip. So you can feel the inner thigh on your standing leg tone. So feeling a grounding from that inner thigh to the inner arch. You have about 3 or 4 more breaths. Hands can go anywhere. Try to feel that lift from core to heart, from heart to head. Okay, one more. And then bring that leg in and down. Take a moment or two just to find both feet on the floor. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna step to the top of the mat. If you're not already there, go ahead. And we're gonna start with a little bit of flow work. But what's gonna be different is we're not gonna do a traditional vinyasa today. I'm gonna rock your world. We're gonna do a different type of kind of reset between sequences. So stay tuned, friends. Arms come up, stretch and reach up. Feel as tall as you can, feel as long as you can. And on the exhale, forward fold. Long spine to inhale. And then step on back to downward facing dog. So take your first down dog and just allow the knees to bend for a moment so you can feel the stretch of your low back. Let those heels feel heavy and spread out the webbing of your hands. Just give a nice little stretch there of the lumbar. Then you can start to straighten the legs if you want. And then bring the knees down to the mat. So you're in all fours pose. We're gonna take that, I'm gonna take my left thigh up first so you can see it. And then we're gonna take it out to the side as if we're trying to aim for our outer left shoulder. Take it back up. And then aim for that outer left shoulder. And then take that leg back up. So I'm keeping my core pretty strong so my hips aren't swaying side to side. You have two more. Leg out, leg up, leg out, leg up. And then take that leg out wide and then all the way down to the mat so that you're in a wide leg lunge. So you can reposition yourself, and if you need some blocks, grab a block. You can be on your fist as well. Take some deep breaths. You're gonna peel all 5 toes back of your front leg and let that thigh open up a bit. So we have a little bit of external rotation in that leg. So feel free to stay lifted, or if you want to come down to your palm prints or down to your forearms, you're welcome to do that. And take another couple breaths. And then as you're ready, let that foot come back in. Come back to all fours pose. Tuck your toes in, downward facing dog. And then we're gonna lift the left leg up. So that was the first for leg I did. If you didn't do that, that's totally fine. Then as we come forward, we're gonna bring that knee wide, but now we're in plank. And then lift that leg up and back. You just have 2 more times of this. Repeating. 1 more time. And then take it up and back, pause. And then you're gonna step that foot wide between your hands and then seal the back foot flat for warrior 2. So I'm gonna turn around so you can have a better view. Heel to arch, open up those arms, okay? So I've got heel to arch. I'm using my outer hip to ground through the outer edge of my foot. Same thing here, I'm pressing from inner thigh to inner foot. Breathe, feel your body. Take another couple breaths. Then as you're ready, we're gonna cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Then you're gonna take that same left leg up and back. This time, bend your knee, but instead of taking your leg wide, I want you to lift the leg up. So all I did was rotate the leg in space and then lift it up nice and high. I should be feeling a great deal of strength through my left leg. Breathe in and out. And then come forward to tree pose with your right leg as your base leg and your left foot in tree. And then you're gonna come right back to that same pose. And all I did was lift my hips and I just left my leg in space. And you have 4 more times. Tree plank, tree up. And if you need to set your right knee down, friends, you can do that. Breathe. 2 more. And then 1 more. Tree plank. And then untuck or let the foot come down. Bring your knees down. And you're going to come into a seat. So this is where we would normally do a vinyasa, but we're not. So I'm going to be on my seat. My hands are going to turn forward or out to the side. And I'm going to open my chest. So I could just stay here. If it feels okay to stretch the legs up, go ahead and stretch the front of your hips. Feel the stretch across your chest. And then as you're ready, we're gonna let the hips come down. Again, you can just balance here on the toes, or you can lift your shins, lift your chest, feel a little core energy here. And then let the feet come down to the floor and just fold forward. I'm gonna give a little stretch to the upper back here. And then as you're ready, grab across those shins and just roll back a few times. Just roll back. And then if you can get enough momentum, you might roll up. You might even use your hands and come into a squat. And so kind of reset there. It could be a mini squat Just take a moment to feel the heels descend back. Make sure that your big toes are visible. So that just tells you that you have the weight set back. Okay? So we're going to keep the right leg our base. We're going to sit in a squat, and then we're going to come to tree pose. So my leg comes out. I'm going to face you now so you can see. And the leg comes back, and I sit into tree pose, and I'm going to come right back in. Knee comes forward, tree pose, come up. Yeah, good. 3 more times, and you go as slow as you want. This is not a race. Yeah, it doesn't have to be your best tree pose you've ever done. So it might be that your ankle stays wide. 1 more. And then pause here. So again, we're not lifting our foot with our hand. We're just naturally where it goes. Try with your arms up. If you need to have one arm down or any type of balance, go ahead. Then as you're ready, come down, hands to the heart, then hands down in front. Nice work, you guys. Breathe. You got this. Okay, we're gonna come to the second side. So arms are gonna stretch up. Then we're gonna exhale and fold forward. Long spine. And then we're gonna step to downward facing dog. So once again, if you'd like to stretch your low back, bend the knees quite generously. Tuck kind of the front ribs and belly towards the back of your body and just allow that lumbar spine to get a nice little stretch. And then if you want to straighten your legs, you can do that over time, just kind of feeling out what changes that makes when you start to straighten the legs. And then bring your knees to the floor. So I'm going to reset up my hands if they have gone too wide so I can feel a good pressing down and apart with my hands. And I'm going to take this outside leg, which happens to be my right leg, and I'm going to lift it up behind me. So I want to feel that my core is strong and that I can feel my glutes working in my hamstring. And I'm going to take it out to the side and straight back up. Without leaning into my left hip, I want to keep, again, all that good core stability here. Good. Keep breathing. 2 more. Nice work, you guys. And then on this one, we kind of just flip and reorient and place the foot down. And I'm just kind of backing up and getting more comfortable here. So I could use a block under my hands, or I've used fists before too. Curl all 5 of your front toes back and then roll to the outside edge of that foot. Almost like you've got a tree leg in this one. So I'm on the razor edge of my baby toe side. And I can come down and go lower if I want. Breathe in and breathe out. Take another couple breaths. And then as you're ready, we're going to plant the hands. And then again, can you come out the way you've come and come to downward facing dog eventually. So reset here. And then we're going to take that right leg up. And then the same thing we did, we're going to bring it over to the side and then straight back up. Over to the side, straight back up. This is the last time. Straight back up. And then step it forward between your hands for warrior 2. So taking your time, heel to arch. And just settling in. Stretching out across the chest. Stretching out across the back of the body. Feeling again from outer hip, a lean thing, like I'm making my sticky mat longer. Feeling a rooted sense from my inner thigh to my inner arch. Take another deep breath. You got it. And then cartwheel the hands down to the floor, downward facing dog. Okay, so we're going to take that leg up and we're going to take it wide. So just like I did before, and I'm going to come to plank with this, and then I'm going to just lift the leg away. And then I'm going to come to plank with this, lift the leg away. 1 more time. Lift the leg away and hold. And then bringing that leg down to the floor, knees down to the floor. Swish them over to the side and take a seat. Setting up again to lift the chest, shoulders on the back, and I could stay low. I could lift up where my knees stay bent, or I could point the toes and lift up here. So liken this to a similar upward facing dog. And then dropping the hips down straight legs or bent legs, and remember toes could stay down for a boat pose. So I'm lifting up my lumbar. I'm not feeling like a collapse happening here. So sometimes grabbing the shins is helpful for that. And then feet down, and we just kind of fold and melt, rounding through the upper back. Now gather up that core strength and roll. It helps me sometimes to flex the toes and to feel my heels energetically pull in. Now again, you can use your hands for this. You don't have to go hands free, but come up into a squat. All right. So now we've got that tree pose. So I'm going to face you. You can stay right where you are. So we come into tree, and then we come back to a squat. And you're taking your time, so you're going as slow as you need. Breathing. Yeah, nice work, you guys. Couple more. Not going for perfection, just new ways to reinvent, finding strength and stability. And then stand nice and tall. Lift up, and then exhale those hands back to your heart. Awesome. I'm gonna step to the front of my mat. Take a deep breath and stretch and reach up. And then exhale, I'm gonna forward fold. Long spine, broaden across your chest. Fold forward and step all the way to downward facing dog. Breathing in and breathing out. So we're gonna find tree pose in a side plank. So I want you to imagine all that good stability work that you did standing. We're just now gonna transpose it onto the side. So let your right arm be your base. So I come halfway forward and I turn my right arm out. So you're welcome to put your right knee down as well. The top legs was what's gonna come to tree. So I'm going to allow that foot to come to my thigh with my hips up high before I come up. So my top foot is in tree. And I'm pressing my outer shoulder into my palm, pressing away from the earth. And my bottom leg's meeting my foot. For 3, for 2. Nice, and just slide that foot forward a bit so that you have now a little bit of a kickstand, and then come all the way down to your right hip. So this can be kind of a weird shape, so kind of adjust if you need to, hand forward, foot forward, and just curl. So use your abdominal strength to curl in and aim your forehead towards your inner. And I'm rolling quite onto my outer right hip. Then you're welcome to roll back and kind of play with it a bit. Okay, as you're ready, come up. You can put both of your hands down to kind of untangle yourself from this shape because it's a little precarious at times. So now the left arm is our base, the left leg is our base. So I'm going to turn my left hand out a bit, and I'm going to come into tree while I'm more in downward facing dog. Then I'm going to transition hips down. Right, that for me is an easier way. You could always come to a staggered side plank and then try to slowly move the leg up. And I'm going to switch my orientation so I can see you guys. So it's your top leg and tree. Again, that bottom hip strengthening, just like I did when I was standing. One more breath. And then this top leg just steps forward a bit. And it might be half the distance, but it also could be further back or forward. Now I'm going to shimmy my hip to the floor and probably have to reposition my arm. Rolling onto the outer hip, I'm going to curl in. So you may or may not be getting a lateral hip stretch. And it's okay if your shoulder rounds a bit, because again, we're bearing our weight more in the hips than the shoulder, hopefully. Breathe in and out. Reset. And then slowly coming up, untangle yourself. So maybe using both of your hands, come to downward facing dog. Couple ways. So you can put your knees down, slosh your legs forward like we've been doing. Another way you could do this is you could allow yourself to kind of hop forward into a little squat, and then you can come right into Savasana. We're changing it up. So we're in that boat pose again. Maybe your legs straight, chest is lifted, we're nice and strong. And then maybe you lower your legs and you lower your hands. Remember, you can have bent knees for this. Totally fine. Firm up your glutes and your hamstrings to lift your hips. Nothing wrong with feet flat, knees bent. So I can lower my hips. Again, I can come here, or I can also tip forward. And if the pelvis is feeling a little sticky today, I can bend the knees. And just maybe I take them further away. Breathing in, breathing out. Softening your jaw and your eyes. And roll on back. Roll up, roll down. And then get a giant bit of core work and coming into your chair pose, standing all the way up. So we're gonna do tree again, but this time we're gonna do it on a block. So if you happen to have a block or a thicker book that you can stand on, that works. If you don't have that, it's totally fine. I'll give you a different variation. You could come to a wall space, right? And you could have your knee touching the wall, and you can kind of practice just kind of like pulling away from the wall, but yet touching it. So it just kind of gives you a different sensory experience. So I'm going to turn that block for me on the diagonal. And we're going to do both legs. So we're going to step into that front first leg. And again, this would be like something that we might want to do. I'm over exaggerating. Firm it up and then bring that foot up. So you'll notice it's much more challenging being off the floor. So if you're against a wall space, your knee's going to touch the wall space, your tree leg, and you're going to try to kind of lift up and away from the wall. Similar feel. Maybe the arms come up. Breathe. Take 3 more breaths. Soften your face. Yeah, good work, you guys. And then from here, bring the knee forward and then just step on down. Roll your ankle. And then we'll switch. So I'm using the diagonal just because otherwise my toes fall off the block and I have to grip. And I really want you to dilate through the arch of your foot because it's going to help you feel more connected to all the different musculature around the hip. So I stand up and I'm going to firm this hip in pretty nicely. And then it can be low. It's not really so much the height of my leg as much as it's what's holding me in the shape, right? Do I feel that balance of outer, inner? So if you want to grab your foot, that's fine. If you want to keep your hands at your heart, that also is fine. Now again, feel from the center of your arch, this lifting up through your spine, through the back of your neck. Feeling those ankle muscles work a little harder. One more breath. And then bring it forward, and then bring it down. Shake it out. Shake it out. Awesome. Okay, put the block to the side. We're going to come to the top of the mat. Inhale, take the arms up, stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Long spine, inhale, step back to your downward dog. This is your reset. This is your chance to, again, keep cultivating that sense of calmness through your breath, through what is familiar, those elements that interweave between the newness. Then one more big breath in. One more big breath out. And then we're going to take that left leg up and back behind us. We're going to bend the knee, turn the hip out, and then lift it up a little higher. So we're feeling, again, that outer hip really working pretty hard. Come into that tree plank again. And you can even put your knee down. We're going to do 3 little push-ups here. So just a tiny little push-up, and notice I'm really having to lift my leg away from the floor. One more. Now come back to a plank and then lower all the way to the floor. So I'm doing tree on my belly. So I can tuck my toes under or untuck. Bring your arms forward or out to the side. Now if you need to turn your head, that's totally fine. Now I'm relaxing like that. Whereas before I was lifting it away from the floor, now I want you to relax it. Breathe. And as you feel the belly touch into your mat, can you feel your core support just gently filling into your spine? Remember which way your head is turned, because we're going to turn the opposite way next time. Okay, plant those hands. Again, I'm going to put my knee down, put the shoulders on your back, come into that plank. And now this time I'm gonna turn so that my left knee touches the floor, all the way to the floor, friends, and my right inner foot touches the floor. So this could be all I do is work on releasing the palm. I'm gonna turn and face you. Is release the palm, and maybe it's trying to get the balance of tree pose and side plank. If you're feeling very energized today, maybe you move the knee away, right? But I can just keep it down for 5 breaths. This is supposed to be challenging, so no worries, friends, if you're quivering or feeling unstable. I'm keeping my knee down, 2 more breaths. Yeah, good job. And then hands come down, come back into that tree plank, unravel, plank pose, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, your right leg lifts up. I bend my knee so I feel my hamstring and I turn my thigh out. And then again, with the outer right hip, I lift a little higher. I'm just feeling all that good hip work and mobility that it takes. Now come forward to tree plank again. Drop through your knee if you want extra support. Just 3 mini push-ups. Trying to keep that right thigh away from the floor. And I'm showing you knee down. And then all the way to your belly. Oops, walking away. Turn your head to face the opposite way. And let your body relax. You've been working really hard, so just let it kind of relax. As your belly relaxes towards the mat, you're just feeling a gentle drawing back so you can find your spine. Okay, plant those hands. Then I can put my knee down and tuck my toes under. Chest is broadening and shoulders on my back. So as I lift to tree plank, now I can turn, knee down, foot down, and I can keep my hands here for extra stability. You're still gonna be working that hip. But if it feels like I can progress, first step would be just to kind of maybe tent the palm and maybe lift it, keeping the kneecap fully on the floor. Or I can lift it. You're gonna feel a good deal of inner thigh toning happening for that. 3, 2, good. Transition if you can back to tree plank, to high plank, to downward facing dog. Awesome work, you guys. So this is choose your own adventure. I'm gonna hop forward and then come into boat pose, or I'm gonna put my knees down and get there however I can. Maybe it's straight legs. You could be staying right where we were at the very beginning of class, because there's nothing wrong with that. I want you to feel length of your spine, core energized, and then feet down or legs straight. Open through your chest. Engage through your back body. And then lower it down, and we're folding forward, either bent knees, just rounding the upper back, or straight legs. Breathe in, breathe out, let your mouth relax, your tongue, your eyes. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna roll onto our back. So this time, instead of rolling like a ball, we're gonna stay on our back. And I want you to extend through your left leg and bring your right foot into tree. So curl back with your left toes. And again, the arms can go up and out, they can go goalposts. Get the orientation, the felt sense of being in tree, and now what's different with being on your back. So I noticed that my hips tend to rock to the right because my right leg is bent. So what I might do to work my core is to really try to draw my left abdomen more to the left so that maybe my right hip gets less heavy towards the right. And that's just like something I could do out of curiosity. Doesn't mean it's wrong to let it go if that feels good, but you could kind of play with what that core could do to like just subtly engage it and to broaden it up over to the left. Maybe that's an interesting inquiry for you. Maybe not. And then just relax it off. Bring the knee up, hug it in for a moment. Feel a little stretch, maybe make a little circle here. And then straighten your right leg out. The left leg is going to come into tree. So again, first, right off the bat, I can place it anywhere along my leg. Do curl those right toes back as if you're standing and let gravity work it first. And just notice what that's like. And then if I got curious, I could notice what it's like to tonify the abdomen. So drawing it towards the back of the pelvis and broadening it and just wondering, could I bring that left thigh away from the mat a bit just by my core engagement? Maybe, maybe not. Breathe. And just let it all go. Bring your left thigh up, pull it in towards your body. And again, if there's little circles that want to be made, you could play with that or pull it across or. And then we're going to bring both legs up. And again, you could pull them wide. I could grab across my ankles, roll the ankles, whatever feels good. Okay, bring those knees in, and this time you will do that rolling that we were doing. And as you're ready, we roll up to a chair pose, however we can. And then we'll straighten the legs and come up. So I'm going to again turn to face you. You can stay whatever orientation works for you. And this time we're going to turn our toes out and our heels in. So we have external rotation happening in the thighs. And again, it's whatever distance feels good for your hips. So it could be narrow, it could be a wider stance. The arms are going to stretch up and I get long through my torso. And I am hip hinging to a degree to get my pelvis to lower. So it could go real low or not. Okay, you're going to come back up, straighten the legs, and lower back down. So just 5 times, just going up and down, lengthening, letting those thighs stretch apart, lengthening, coming up, back down. One more time, and then come back down. So to listen before you go, so you'll notice like my knee and my foot face a diagonal. So as I come up, I'm going to have to orient my body to accommodate that, okay? So as I come up, I'm going to grab onto my shin and bring my leg up to hold wide. So it's just a little balance dilly. Don't worry if it didn't happen. Yeah, didn't happen over here, Cam says. Didn't happen. Okay, we're going to come out the way we came. So now I turn and come back to my chair or my squat. I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit, and I'm going to mobilize my hips and move them to the left, grab onto my shin, and maybe it happens now. Yeah. So again, we're going to move. I want you to try 2 more on each side, okay? Slow as you need to go. Perfection not being the goal. And again, moving in a way that feels grounded, even though it's different. And we maybe haven't done this before. So last time on each side. Thanks for embracing weird stuff. And then you have one more. And then we come back down. Yeah, good. And then allow yourself to come all the way up to standing, step towards, if you're not already there, the top of your mat. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Long spine. Fold on in. You know the drill, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to start with the right leg, and I'm just going to step it forward. And then right away, I'm going to turn to the left towards a Skandasana, which just means my left knee bends, my right leg straightens. And again, if you want to go deeper, I could pop the toe up. So for a moment, just go side to side. Just kind of shift side to side. And then when you get to the right the next time, turn your body a bit and come back to that warrior 2 shape that we found. Yeah, that warrior 2 shape. We're going to go side angle. So if I want to, I'm letting my pelvis turn in space so that as I find a prop or my thigh My left hip point is facing down a bit. Belly is strong. I'm finding that outer hip engagement, inner thigh to inner foot engagement. Arm can do whatever it wants to do. So 5 times, just listen and then join me if you want. Skandasana, side angle. I lifted my foot for this. And I'm taking my time, so I don't have to rush. A couple more times. And last time. And then you can just walk towards the front edge of your mat. And then downward facing dog. Okay, so our last side. I'm going to turn and orient the other way. Okay, I'm going to take that left leg up. I'm going to step it forward and then right away turn towards the right. So I'm pausing, just kind of reassessing, getting a little groin stretch here, maybe a little inner thigh. Then I'm going to shift side to side. Could be hands free this round. And then the next time I go to the left, I'm going to take my time, transitioning my feet appropriately. And it's warrior 2 just to set it up into side angle. Breathing. And then when you're ready, taking your time, transition to those 2 shapes. And it's like 5 times maybe that we do it. Transitioning. And again, making sure my feet do all those things they need to do to take care of my hips. And here's your last time. You don't have to come back to that side angle. You can just come all the way back forward to downward facing dog. Our last time through our not vinyasa, so hop or step, coming into that boat pose. So yeah, alignment, feeling good with my feet pointing or flexing, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe I've found a new position that feels good. And then feet down to the floor, incline plane, Purvottanasana. And then your hips are going to come down. I'm forward folding to whatever degree that feels good for my body. Nice. And then as I'm ready, I'm going to roll all the way onto my back. So roll it on back. Iron out that spine. Great job, you guys. You're going to roll onto your right side. And we're going to do a little thigh stretch. So if you would like to roll on your stomach and that's a better position, this does require a little bit of balance and strengthening. I'm going to reach back and I'm going to try and line my knees up and just stretch the frontal hip. So I could kick it back if I wanted a little bit more hip flexor. Again, I could be on my belly if there is a more opportune time for me to kind of reset, ground. Totally fine. And then let that go. And then roll onto your back, reset. I'm going to roll to my left side, so now I'm going to face you guys. So I'm just going to reorient for me. Can make a pillow if I wanted, however I want to do this. Grabbing my ankle. If I want to kick it back a bit, almost like a dancer pose, that might feel good for the frontal hip. Big breaths, you guys. Yeah, great job. Okay, then let it go. Roll back onto your back again. So we're going to allow the thighs to come and cross, like I'm sitting cross-legged in a chair. Then I'll move my legs, put my right leg on top to the right and drop them to the left. And if this doesn't feel good, I'll just uncross. So just a little bit of a twisted root twist. Opening through your chest, grounding through the right shoulder. I can place something underneath my legs if this is uncomfortable. And then as you're ready, I might use my hands for support to bring the legs up and to uncross. Just for a moment, just flatten out the spine. You could come into a bridge, just neutralize to that hips, to the hips. Just a quick bridge. Set the hips down. The left leg crosses over right, like I'm cross-legged in a chair. You can wiggle my hips to the left before I bring them up and drop them to the right. Or uncrossing them if that feels better, just to have a twist with two bent knees. Side out. Let your body release. And then using your hands to support your core, bringing the legs up. Uncross your legs, feet down. Then again, it could be a bridge. And then settle those hips down. So kind of feeling out the body to notice if there's any final kind of hip openers you might like. Feet together, knees wide. You could have an active hamstring stretch. You know, like if there's any shapes that really call to you, take a few moments to work through those shapes. And it could just be kind of like rocking your legs side to side like windshield wipers. And then I'd like you just whenever you feel ready to find some stillness, either sitting on a block, or if you like to lie on your back, lie on your back. And take first just 5 breaths to just really get present with feeling your breath move in and out through your body. It could be an open mouth release of energy. Now 3 more, just really cleansing breaths to reset. Really nice. And then let the breath just be natural. You don't have to do anything with it. Rest your hands wherever they'd like to rest, either up or on your thighs. And I'm just going to mention some spaces, and I want you just as I mention the space, just to let your awareness just relax as much as you can around that space in your body, okay? So starting with your eyes, relax your eyes. Relax your tongue. Relax your jaw. With the breath, relax your neck. Relax your abdomen. As much as you can, relax around your pelvis and your lumbar spine. So you may not be able to consciously really feel a lot shift there, but just imagining you could take the breath down into the pelvis, the hips, the lower back. Let your legs relax. Let your feet feel very relaxed. Allow yourself to connect to your spine. Allow yourself to connect to your entire physicality, the muscles, the energy you feel around your body. Your entire presence, what you can hear right now, what you can smell, even the darkness that might be around your sight because your eyes are closed. Really take it all in, allowing you to be completely present in this moment. So you're invited to stay right where you are and to continue enjoying just taking in your practice, the space of being present in your body. If you'd like to move again, however you want to move again, whether it's wiggling, rolling to your side,